And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzogoose, back with you for another review. This is a special review, kind of a request, and because of what's going on this week. This week this video I am talking about Wonderland, Clash of Queens, issues 1 through 3. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is twofold. First, it was requested of me for the 750th sub video that we did. We said we were going to review your picks for us, and somebody requested that I personally review Wonderland Clash of Queens. Now, Michael, aka Dude of Rock 18, had reviewed the most recent issue already on Frontline, so I decided I would go back and just review all 3 issues at once as part of that thing. But also, this just happens to be Zenescope week, so it kind of 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing going on there. So we're covering the 750th sub plus Zenescope week with the review of Wonderland Clash of Queens issues 1 through 3. Now, issues 1 and 2 are written by Raven Gregory with art by Manuel Pratano. Actually, Pratano did the art in all 3. Troy Brownfield actually wrote the 3rd issue, though. Colors by Daniel Morales and letters by Jim Campbell, and edits by Pat Shand. So, basically, Wonderland Clash of Queens, it's an Age of Darkness tie-in. There is this mystical blade called the Ebony Blade that killed the Jabberwocky, and at one point in time the Queen of Spades used it to kill the Queen of Diamonds because she had gone insane and she was trying to bring her back because that was her love. And she killed her, but then the Ebony Blade just disappeared from existence or whatever. They thought it was lost, nobody had it. It's years later or whatever, how much ever time later, and there's a new Queen of Diamonds, there's a new Queen of Hearts, and they're all kind of over a certain quarter of Wonderland. They each have their own section that they rule over, and all of a sudden the Ebony Blade just pops back up and a bunch of children find it, and because the children touch the blade, it infects them, possesses them, whatever. They become kind of children of the corn kind of thing and protectors of the blade, and they kill whoever comes near it and all this stuff. And of course all the queens want it now because it's this powerful mystical weapon that will ensure whoever has it their rule over Wonderland. And so throughout the issues, the first issue is basically all the setup. We get all the history of the dagger and or the blade, whatever you want to call it, and which does have like a spade marking on it, and could be heart because the heart and spade symbols in Grimm look very similar. It's all the setup with that, and the children finding the blade, and what they do to the storyteller that they're not too happy with, and all this stuff. The second issue introduces a new threat to Wonderland, which is the Trickster. And the Trickster kind of plays all the queens against each other through through a certain mean of gathering a bunch of troops from each one of them and basically tricking them into killing each other. And then, going to the queens and all this stuff. So she's kind of playing everything. She reveals to the Queen of Hearts that the Queen of Spades has been in her ear, had her shadow self or whatever spying on her and kind of manipulating her, and that kind of ends things. And then issue 3 is really where the search for the blade comes to its culmination. We find out who gets the blade, and you can check out the full review that Mike did. I think that's the issue that he reviewed here on Comic Frontline already, for the full review of that particular issue. But basically, troops from 3 of the queens are battling out to see who gets the blade, and a certain queen shows up, takes the blade, and she goes off on her own. I'll give you a hint, which anybody that's ever watched Alice in Wonderland or has any kind of frame of reference of any Wonderland what's the word I'm looking for? incarnation, any kind of version of Wonderland. The issue is left off with the queen in question holding the dagger, spoiler alert, and says off with his head. So there you go. So now we know which queen has the blade as issue 3 ends. There's only 2 issues left of the miniseries. So we were promised that by the end of Wonderland Clash of Queens there's going to be a new ruler of Wonderland, and this all, like I said, ties into the Age of Darkness, so it's going to be very interesting to see what occurs here. Now, as far as story goes, I think the story is solid. It's an interesting story. You have this blade and all the queens of Wonderland fighting over it for rule of all of Wonderland, because they've been segregated into these different sections and they're all very egotistical. They want to rule the entire place, the entire realm, the realm of dreams, I think it's called. So I mean, it's conceptually it's a very interesting story. It's well done for the most part. I think the writing in issue 2 was a little sloppy. Personally, that's just my own opinion. I think issues 1 and 3, the dialogue was snappy, clever, on point. The narrative captions were very informational, but very light. These were quick reads, even though there was a lot of text. So that's to me, that's an indication of a well-told story, because you're pulled into it so much that you don't notice all the text. It just kind of flows really easily. So I'll say that throughout, but the dialogue in issue 2 I felt was a little clunky, a little cliched, and just even the art, which is very good throughout. There are especially some great scenes. There's some panel work in issue 1, I believe, where they're telling the history of the Queen of Diamonds, and the panels are framed in diamonds. Really brilliant layouts with that. There's a couple of really gorgeous double-page spreads. There's one of the children all possessed and everything at their castle or wherever they're at, and it's a it's a really nice kind of worm's eye view slanted layout for the page, and beautiful art and coloring as well. There are a few pages and panels here and there that you could tell this was like, gotta get this page done so I can get on to the next and get this issue done kind of thing. I won't say it's felt totally rushed, but the details were kind of left to a bare minimum in certain panels and pages. But overall it was a stellar job. I'm really into the story. I'm curious to see what happens. I want to see how this plays out and how this ties into the larger story at play here, which is, of course, Age of Darkness. So, all in all, I'm going to give all 3 of these issues together. I'm not going to judge them separately. I'm going to clump them all together as the first 3 parts of this 5-part story. And overall, considering all the minor flaws and everything, I'm going to give Wonderland Clash of Queens 1 through 3 a 4 out of 5. I thought it was a really good story. Not quite perfect, not because the flaws I have to take off that other half point, but it is a really solid story. It's really interesting, really intriguing, well done, and I recommend it if you're a Grimm Universe fan. If you're a fan of Wonderland, I think you should check this out. All the queens are different enough, even with their egotistical things. The way their underlings, the card soldiers, are with each queen, they have their own differences and everything, and the way that they operate and everything. Like the diamonds are completely different than the heart soldiers, and the spade soldiers are like deformed looking and everything. So I've never seen it quite done like that, so it's really cool the way they do that. So it is a very interesting take on Wonderland. If you've never tried out any Zenescope Wonderland books, I think you'll enjoy this particular story. But for me, for these 3 issues altogether, it's a 4 out of 5. So that is my review of Wonderland Clash of Queens, issues 1 through 3. 750th sub commitment, done. Zenescope week, honored. And that's going to wrap it up for this review. So check out all the other reviews here on Comic Frontline, updating almost daily, not just reviews, other kind of videos, hauls, the live shows, topic videos, TV time, movie stuff, anything you can think of we have right here. on Comic Frontline. And check out comicfrontline.com, comicrelated.com, both your #1 source for all your comic news, reviews, podcasts, and so much more. Listen to the Zone 4 podcast each and every Friday. Today is Friday, so a brand new episode today. It's a headline topic week this week. We talk about all kinds of headlines in comics, TV, and movies. And it's a really great discussion we have. Talking about Flash, the extended 5-minute trailer and stuff like that. So tune in for that. It'll be up tonight on Comic Frontline sometime. And until next time, I will see you all in the next video.